Welcome to Ascended Masters at Work Radio with your host, Shirlene Reeves, the world's business success coach and author of Selling Through Your Heart, empowering you to build relationships for financial freedom, where we focus on taking the right step-by-step actions towards generating a consistent business income. Listen in as Shirlene empowers small business owners and her $1 million business blueprint. On Ascended Masters at Work Radio, you'll discover the secrets to building an effective income-generating business. Find the answers for selling your programs and products without rejection. Get the solutions for building a strong financial foundation. Coaching with Shirlene Reeves and her guests. How to develop integrated programs so compelling that your clients can't resist saying yes. Now, let's welcome your host, business success coach Shirlene Reeves.
Hi, and welcome back to Ascended Masters at Work. I always love so much being with you because we have the most interesting guests, don't we? It really surprises me sometimes at how great the guests are and the wonderful information that they bring to us. And speaking of great information, our guest today is going to be perfect for those who are speakers or healers, coaches, or business owners, or even pastors support people in the church. You can use what we are talking about today for almost anything that you do. And here's why I say that. All of those people that I named are most probably speakers. And speakers are always looking for how to get the word out. And if you're a speaker, I know you're sitting there right now thinking, how in the world do I get the word out about my mission or my message or the programs that I've created? What is it I do? I don't know what to do next. I feel like I'm ready to go, but I don't know where to begin. Well, today we are going to answer that question because that is such an important question. And there was even a time in my career where I asked that question, and I know that the guest today is really going to call me back into it and remind me of things that I haven't thought of for a very long time, and probably give me a lot of new tips on what's different today than it was in the past. Because trends tend to change. Have you ever noticed that? That even happens in our clothing. It happens in our speeches around what happens in people's lives. And now we're going to talk about the trend changes in how we get on stage, or maybe we get on podcasts or radio shows, web TV, all of those I've been involved in, and I know that we always are looking for speakers, and I am always looking for a speaking opportunity. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about today. So this is really exciting. I know you're going to get so many awesome tips, and it will really change your perspective on what to do with your speaking career. This woman is bringing you an offer that gives you someone that does all the work to get you those speaking gigs. So let's dive in and talk to our special guest today. She's been in the throes all over the world helping transform leaders, authors, coaches, and speakers and messengers that want to connect with their next follower. And so for the past 10 years, her internationally acclaimed conscious companies have been providing PR campaigns and radio and media tours and speaking engagements to support the growth and the revenue of change makers. All of us in business are change makers. And you might be saying, no, I'm not a change maker. Well, the truth is, you absolutely are a change maker, because if you are creating programs, or you have a message to share, or you would like opportunities to do and lead workshops, this is the lady that can get you there. Remember what I always told you in the past. You want to follow those who are already doing what you want to do. And they have a specialty We all have a specialty. And if we find ourselves sitting down and trying to do somebody else's specialty, we are going to hate life. So it's much easier to just contribute the little bit of money that it takes to get a phenomenal yes from so many speaking engagements. Now, some of our clients have included Don Miguel Ruiz, Dr. Joe Vitale, James Twyman, Denise Lynn, Ariel Ford, and Hay House, and so many more. So I am really, really honored that Jackie Lapin is here with us today. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi, Shirlene. I am so delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And that was a lovely introduction. I really appreciate it.
Jackie, I think it's so important for those people that are prepared, they have their programs, they got their look, they know exactly who they want to be, and they're ready to get on stage. And they don't know where to start. They actually can't figure out, oh, what do I do next? Or how do I begin? They want to get their mission, their word out, the information that they want to share in their program so that people can find them, because all of you know that your people are looking for you. But they don't know where to begin. And that's a big reason why you're here with me today, is so that you can give us an idea of where to begin. So let's start there.
Well, I think that there's three ways. And one of the ones that you talked about is stages. That's really important. But don't overlook the virtual stages that are available to you too. And that's radio shows, podcasts, and virtual summits. That means that you're delivering your message to the masses without ever leaving your home. So I think that that is a really important place to begin strategizing how you're going to get that kind of visibility. So definitely it's an important element to put this into your marketing plans. And here's one thing that's really, really important, and it's an absolutely essential aspect. Most leaders say, I'm going to go out and look for my speaking engagements sometime this week or next week or whatever. And you get to the end of the week and you think, you know, I didn't end up doing that. I got filled with other things. So one of the things that you really have to do is put it on your calendar. Make an appointment with yourself, essentially, like you were making an appointment with somebody else. Give yourself 3 hours a week to be mastering your visibility. And as I tell people, if you can't do the time, you can't earn the dime.
One of the biggest challenges that we have is finding the speaking engagements. Have any of you ever noticed that? Fortunately, nowadays, the speaking engagements tend to find me, and I'm very grateful for that. But I have to tell you, in the beginning, it definitely wasn't easy. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know who to contact in order to be able to get on their stages or be interviewed on their podcasts or show up on their TV shows. And so I really had to think about how to find the right genre for me, because there's sure a lot out there. It's really overwhelming. Jackie, what do you suggest? How do we dig into this and get going on working with the people that we need in order to get on the stages? And what's expected of us?
Well, you can actually start out by going to Google. And you'd be surprised how much you can find. You know, when we build our Speakertunity tip sheets, which I'll talk a little bit more about, that is where we start ourselves. And so you can start by looking for women's groups or chambers of commerce or centers for spiritual living or entrepreneur networking groups or whatever it might be. And then you put comma and then wherever you live. And when you start doing it, you just pick the keywords that you want, and there's lots of different permutations of those keywords, and you will begin to accrue the kinds of opportunities. And then you go to their website, see if they actually take speakers, and then start adding them to your list. That's one very good place to do that. Another one is Meetup. You might think that Meetup is just a bunch of people getting together to hang out, to do various fun things. But in truth, not only are there Meetup specific groups on a business topic, but many of the bricks and mortar meetings that happen regularly actually will be looking to put their meetings on Meetup because they attract new people that way. So you're going to find a nice mix. And the nice thing about Meetup is you can actually put in your city, and you can put in the kinds of opportunities you're looking for, and they will begin to feed them to you every week. And so you'll even learn about new groups that are popping up if they are in your genre and specification. Those are two really, really good places to get started. There's another website I like called Events in America. And if you go to eventsinamerica.com, you're going to find events specifically in your industry or genre, but you also, they don't have who the speaker coordinator is. You're going to have to go to the organization and find out. And then the last one that I think is really powerful is LinkedIn. There's a couple of different ways that you can search on LinkedIn. One of them is by keyword. And so if you want to put in meeting planner or event planner or event coordinator. The other way is to go to specifically to a company that you're interested in speaking at, and then go through their LinkedIn, whoever they have on LinkedIn, and you're looking for either human resources, marketing, or sales. Those are the areas usually that spend money on outside speakers. So you find the leaders in those aspects or those organizations, then you can reach out to them on LinkedIn, begin a nice dialogue. Don't start right off offering your services, but start out by beginning a dialogue. Say, hey, I'm interested to know, what kind of speakers do you book? You know, how are your programs? What are you looking for these days? Begin that dialogue with them before you hit them up with what it is that you're offering. So those are some really, really good places to get started if you're starting to look for your own speaking engagements. But as you mentioned, we also have a resource called Speakertunity. It does it all for you. It doesn't give you corporate, but it gives you all kinds of speak to enroll opportunities, the kinds of opportunities that let you actually sell a program or introduce somebody to your free opt-in that gets them excited about you. And we just really make it easy for people to find and get access to them. It's only $35 a month, and we have a private Facebook group where I'm aggregating calls for speakers from all different organizations all over US and Canada. For $35 a month, you don't have to do the research. We're doing a lot of it for you. And what's nice about this is that it just pops up in your email every month, twice a month. It's about 120 leads. And it just opens all kinds of doors for you so that you don't have to do all the groundwork by yourself.
I have to say that groundwork is a whole heck of a lot of work. I don't know if any of you have even tried this. There's so much digging involved. You heard Jackie say to sit down and schedule 3-hour appointments with yourself. And you can imagine how much time it's going to take out of your day. And she's offering you a program that does it all for you based on your own genre. And it's only $35 a month. So I have a question for you. Even if you are selling a program at the lowest amount in 125 or 150, you've still made money because you pay Jackie $35, and if you're out speaking and you can convert those speaking opportunities into money, you are way ahead. Jackie does this based on volume. That's why she can keep the prices low. So you might want to go check out Speakertunity when we get done. I know that you send, what did you say, 120 leads out a week? But there's so many people in your system. Aren't we all competing with each other? That seems sort of strange and not something I'd really want to do.
Well, the truth of the matter is you get the first issue from when you come in the door. So the nice part about it is you're not competing at the same time that anybody else is. We give out 25 new radio shows and podcasts every month. And then we also do it for virtual summits. So if you want virtual summits with open guest presenter seats that's not already packed and filled up, we're going to really give you tons of those. In fact, I'm preparing the issue right now, the next issue, and I think we've got 25 new ones in there. We teach anybody who wants how to write the materials that get them booked. So that makes them have to think through how they're presenting themselves. And that program is called the Get Booked Training Program. And that's a wonderful program where we teach people how to write their speaker one sheet, how to speak to the speaker booker in writing and in person, how to write their radio TV pitch letter, how to write their media kit, and how to get virtual summit ready, including lots of list building skills so that they can qualify for any of the summits that have minimum list size. A lot of times, if somebody comes to me and they're a speaker and they're not quite there yet, we also have a resource page on Speakertunity where we direct people to trusted speaker trainers or people who help them with their PowerPoint or whatever it might be, so that they really are up to speed. And if they come in and they come to Speakertunity Radio Insider, and let's say they're looking for a media trainer, I've got tons of them in my fingertips that I can refer people to. As you said, I'm the transformational connector. So but I'm always working with people who are heart-based, who are really concerned about helping people improve their lives in some way, shape, or form, whether that's their business lives or their personal lives. My whole client base is people who care, who really care. And that's the kind of providers I work with as well, too.
Let's take a minute to just think about what Jackie said. She works with people who really care. And how does she distinguish that? And how would you be a person that she would work with? How would she know that you really care? Some people don't know how to do that in business, and the biggest challenge that they have is in sales. And that's why I wrote the book, Selling Through Your Heart. What it teaches you is how to empower yourself so you can build relationships and create consistent sales for yourself. It's a catch-22. If you don't know how to build relationships that are of quality and heartfelt, it's even harder to learn how to do sales. Selling Through Your Heart gives you the 3-step sales waltz that makes it so easy to combine your programs as easy sell programs so that there is no problem in earning a consistent income. If you'd like to learn how to be a person that really sells from their heart, so that people can feel it when they talk to you, pick up my new book, Selling Through Your Heart. You can purchase it at sellingthroughyourheart.com or on Amazon. Jackie, I'd really like to circle back to this thing about what is expected of us, and even more, who are these people that we're working with, and what do we talk to them about? What do we say to them?
Well, there are a couple of things that are really important. The first act that a speaker booker is going to take is that they're going to go look at your website. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you have a contemporary website, something that is horizontal in length, that has some large graphic at the top, and has a limited amount of text on the page and lots of nice graphics. Because that's what people are expecting of a leader today. So if your website is 10 years old, and they go looking at it, they're going to nix you right away. So that's the first thing. You have to have a contemporary website. You also have to have current photos. This is critical. So if you walk in the room and you're actually gray-haired and all your images are a brown-haired person, then there's a disconnect. There's an authenticity disconnect. And you're going to cause distrust between the booker and the audience and yourself. So go get yourself current pictures. That doesn't mean you can't touch them up a little bit. We're all a little vain. But you need current photos. Then you really want to have a great free offer, some freebie. So if you get on stages where they don't actually let you sell, you have something that's going to really get people into your community quickly and easily. And today there's lots of ways you can do that. You can hand out a form for them to sign up on, you can get their cards, and here's the one that's really trendy these days, is you can do the cell phone thing where they text to a certain particular number, and when they do that, they put in their name, their email, etc., and they get whatever freebie that you're offering. But it's right there in the room. You can get them to do it. So you want to have that set up, even if it's not that, technologically savvy, some way for them to get engaged with you, that you capture their email address. The next thing is, if you're an author, you really need to have enough copies of your book in case you get, either you can sell it to them on site or to the coordinator in advance, or if the booker calls at the last minute and said, hey, can you bring 25 of your books with you? You don't have to think, oh my gosh, I don't have enough in stock, and then have to order on print on demand, and it's a 2 or 3 week delay. You need to have plenty in hand in case that happens. And then the next thing that's really important is having a good speaker one sheet. And that is a one-page document that gives you, the speaker booker, a good look at who you are. And here's the most important thing you can know about your speaker one sheet. It isn't just about you. It's all about what it is that you are giving that audience. How are you making sure that that audience sees change, heals, advances in some way? What's the outcome for them? So that should be your headline. And then there's a bio there. There's also perhaps some testimonials. There is a look at what your presentations are, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. And I do recommend that you have 3, because you might be talking to different audiences, or you might have a workshop and a signature speech. So you want to have them spelled out, not in great depth, but just a line or 2, and then some bullet points, so that the speaker knows what it is. They know you're professional. They know that you're presenting yourself as someone who is already experienced, and they can have confidence that you're going to be a great speaker because you already know what you're doing. So you want to have a speaker one sheet. And then the last piece of element is you really should have some good video of you presenting, not video of you on your website talking to your community or on a webinar or something. They need to see what you are like in front of a stage and how you engage with the audience. And it needs to be something better than cell phone quality. It needs to have great video. It needs to have good lighting. It needs to have good sound. So that means you either have to go to an event that already has video and ask if you can buy the video after they film it, or you hire a videographer on your own and have them do that. And there are some showcases around in some places where the speaker trainer will give people an opportunity for a few dollars, in the hundreds, to come in and present in front of a group of other speakers, and then they will tape that for you and give you a piece of it. So those are all the really key elements, so that you're going to be putting some of those into an email that goes to the speaker booker to get yourself booked.
I'm so glad, Jackie, that you told us about what needs to go on this speaker one sheet. And the speaker one sheet is what you send out so that they can select which speech they want you to come and present. And if you're really smart, you will have programs to back up each one of those speaking topics. And that's one of the things that I think takes the most time, is because you really have to think through what it is you're going to provide your audience so that they can go and get more information from you. I see so many people that are out speaking and they have no program to back them up at all. So what do? They try and do one-on-one coaching, and that wears them down to a frazzle, because if you have even 100 people in the audience, maybe only 40 people in the audience, and 10 of them convert into your packages, that's going to be a lot of work for you to take care of each one of those people. Over time, they accrue, right? So what you want to do is have online programs that are easy sell programs, as I mentioned a little earlier, and then people have a place to go to hear more about you or get more education based on what you have already taught. So Jackie, one of the things I didn't hear you say is, if you have a book, do we put that on the speaker one sheet, or what are your thoughts on that?
If you have a speaker one sheet, you want to have a picture of your book on it as well. But absolutely, that is a very good strategy, Shirlene.
What kind of speaking engagements should we be looking for? As I said earlier, there's so many different kinds out there. And I know for sure we've already talked about the fact that we want to make sure that it's in our genre. We don't want to go out and speak to the Lions Club if we have nothing to offer them, or speak to a community that has no money, that's something you got to check on. Or if you are going to a meetup group, think about how many people there are there and what kind of people are there. Do they fit into your genre? Are they a part of your target market? And will you be speaking their language if you show up and you do give them the speech? Now, I want to tell you, if there's only 20 people there, be glad if you get just one person out of it. That's a great opportunity to celebrate. But there's so many different things that you can do. And I'm just going to let Jackie share some of those with you.
You have a series of different kinds of speaking engagements. One, you have the ones where you get paid. Now, those are hard to get, and you really have to be experienced or a special expert in a field that somebody is dying to get you on stage for to get paid. Then there are the speak to enroll opportunities, as I call them. Other people call them speak to sell, where you're not being paid to be on stage, but you're given an opportunity to actually get people enrolled in your programs or opt into something, and you can turn those into big paydays if you're effective at marketing and inviting people from the stage. That's another aspect. And then there is the element of the paid engagement. And that is where somebody says to you, you can get on my stage, but this is how much it's going to cost. You can be a sponsor of the event. You can have a booth, et cetera, et cetera. And as I said, increasingly that is happening. And sometimes if you know that this is the absolute right audience and you have a pretty good idea of the percentage of an audience you can sell, it is a very good strategy to do. But there's also another little thing that many people don't know, is that a lot of those people who are putting on those events want to get on other people's stages to do the very same thing. So if you have an event of your own and you offer to put them on your stage, and then they'll waive the fee for you to go on their stage. It's called the stage swap. And that's a really good strategy for you to strategically eliminate the fee if you have enough of a program in order to offer them something equivalent. I mean, if you get 10 people in your event and they get 200, they're not going to be really thrilled with that opportunity. But if you have a reasonably sized event and you make an offer of a stage swap, then that's a really good way to eliminate that fee for yourself.
Jackie, how do we know that if we are paying the $35 a month, we're going to get the right genres for us? How do you work this so that we aren't wasting our time trying to wade through shows that aren't to our benefit?
That I've really culled the kinds of opportunities that are right for our people, our tribe, as I so to say, people who are really wanting to help others and deliver a really good content and personal growth and personal experiences. You know, you're not going to find guys that do politics on my lists. And you could stumble upon those, waste a lot of time doing that. Shows that are not in your genre, we know what's right for our group. So we've really cultivated the ones that are the perfect for our community.
Given us so much awesome information. And what I'd like to do is give our listeners some tips on what they can do today as takeaways. What would be a couple of steps that they could work on right now to work toward getting on those stages and those podcasts?
You can start putting together a signature speech that follows some of this pattern. You begin to introduce a problem or an issue that somebody needs to have solved, your target audience. Then you can talk a little bit about how you came through that experience yourself and you gained your knowledge. Then you can put in the working information, the value about what they can learn, and then you close with what it is that you're offering them that's going to get them excited and that they really need to help solve that problem. So that you want to start structuring your signature speech, and you can actually begin to structure your questions for your radio shows and media tours much around the same issues. And so when you're doing your outreach, you're all ready to go. You have the speech, you have the radio content that you're going to be pitching and that you know that you can deliver at that time. So that's what I would recommend.
What would you say is going to make a speaker more desirable for a podcast or a radio show or a web TV show? What would you tell them to get started on right now to make them more desirable?
Well, you need to then engage in lots of list building. And there are lots of ways to do that with joint venture partners and giveaways and, working with the people who are helping you make sure that you can attract people online. Just start working on your list building so that you do qualify for all of those. That's really an important issue.
Jackie, I am so grateful that you've joined us on the show today, and you've given us so much awesome information that people can take to heart right now. I'm hoping that you as listeners will check into this specific show many, many times if you are one who is excited about getting out there and speaking. But I also know that speaking is one of our biggest fears. Did you know it's only second to death? What a surprise that is, huh? So in this show, we may be speaking to a limited amount of people, but there are an awful lot of business owners that might want to take this into consideration. And if you're absolutely terrified of speaking, then do what I did. Go to Toastmasters. I tell everybody this all the time. Go to Toastmasters, learn how to put a speech together, learn how to develop it, and then be critiqued by people who really care about your success. That's a great place to get started, because I was terrified in the beginning, absolutely terrified. But I'm not now, and I've been through all the ranks in Toastmasters. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster and can get up and speak anytime I'm asked. And I want you to be able to do that too. So go ahead and find a Toastmasters club in your area that suits you, and then you'll be able to get started sharing your message. Because if you can't share your message, there probably aren't going to be that many people listening, and you may not make it in business. That's the serious thought. You may not make it in business if you don't learn how to speak your message. Now, Jackie, I know you brought something very important with you to end our show up today. We have a show that flies by so fast, it's unbelievable. But what did you bring us today?
Well, I have a special gift for the listeners on this show, and that is I'm going to give you a month free in each of the Speakertunity options, Speakertunity Leads, Speakertunity Radio Insider, and Speakertunity Summits if you go to www.speakertunity.com/free-trials. And I'll do that again. www.speakertunity.com/free-trials. And I would love you to come and explore and experience it. And if you'd like it, we'd love you to stay on as part of the Speakertunity family.
You all get that? Speakertunity.com/free, and then use the hyphen sign, trials. And also, don't forget to let Jackie know that you heard this show, and that's why you're signing up. I try to send her as many people as I possibly can because she has such a phenomenal program. And I promise you, you won't be sorry. But remember what we both said. You must be prepared so that you can really get out there and make a difference in the world. And don't forget to pick up my book, Selling Through Your Heart. You'll be able to learn how to sell from the stage. Wouldn't that be awesome? Using your client's perfect words and speaking only to your specific genre. You'll find all the secrets to success in the Selling Through Your Heart book. And you'll even learn how to overcome objections effectively without your client even asking. So I'll see you next week. Go to sellingthroughyourheart.com to pick up your book, and have a really, really wonderful week. We'll be back together next week with topics that include business, finance, sales, and lifestyle. This is Shirlene Reeves, your host on Ascended Masters at Work.
Thank you for joining us on Ascended Masters at Work Radio. We hope you gained insights that will change the way you do business, generate a consistent income, and provide a new enlightened path toward financial freedom and designing the lifestyle of your dreams. And if you simply can't wait to purchase Shirlene's book, Selling Through Your Heart, empowering you to build relationships for financial freedom, at sellingthroughyourheart.com.